The first ever major crypto bill has passed in the House of Representatives, despite opposition from the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler. Joining us right now is Congressman Patrick McHenry. He's the chairman of the Financial Services Committee. And thank you very much for being here, Chairman McHenry. Let's talk about this bill. The big deal on this is it finally would settle who is going to be the regulator over cryptocurrency. A lot of other things in the bill as well, but that is what's kind of kicking up some of the dust and some of the Democratic opposition. You did get a lot of Democrats to vote for this bill, but on the opposite side, you've got President Biden issuing a policy statement saying they're not in favor of this, not necessarily going to veto it. The SEC chairman opposed to it, and some other Democrats as well who say that the CFTC is not going to be up to snuff and ready to actually do all of the authoritative work it would take. Where do things stand right now? What happened?
Well, this should serve as a wake-up call. We had 2/3 of the House of Representatives vote in favor of clarity for crypto. It creates a legal framework giving the SEC a proper role and the CFTC a proper role, rather than the conflicting set of regulatory actions that those two agencies have taken over the last 10 years. Congress settles it. And it settles the dispute. It settles what is a digital asset, gives a legal framework for trading and the purchase of those assets, and I think that's an important thing. This was a vote that included 71 Democrats across the ideological spectrum. That should be the wake-up call to the Senate. That should be the wake-up call to the administration, and in sound policy. So that's the message today, and the outcome of that vote yesterday is that the Senate needs to take action so we have legal clarity and so we can catch up to the rest of the world and be competitive in the world of digital assets.
It has been a long time coming. This is a crazy turf fight that we feel like we've been watching to kind of play out. But you don't have necessarily support in the Senate at this point. What are the odds of anything getting picked up in the Senate? What are the odds of this passing in the Senate?
Well, look, last week we passed a Congressional Review Act, repeal of really an adverse ruling by the current regime of the SEC on how you hold crypto, how regulated financial firms hold crypto. It's a very particular bill. It's about accounting standards. We got 21 Democrats in the House. Yesterday we got 71 for crypto regulation. Then it went to the Senate, this accounting repeal. And we had over 10 Democrats in the Senate, including Majority Leader Schumer, vote in favor of repealing a Biden administration rule on crypto. So don't count the Senate out. I think they have a huge opportunity here. I think you have a lot of interest with the bipartisan Senate leadership between Sinema and Gillibrand on the Democrat side and Lummis on the Republican side. I think there's a huge opportunity with the leadership of Chair Stabenow on the Ag Committee and Ranking Member Bozeman. So I think there's a huge opportunity for us to actually make law. We've gotten much further in election year on policy than I expected. I'm so focused on just landing deals wherever we can, no matter the political environment. And yesterday's a good statement on that. And adoption. Unfortunately, our current regulatory framework is preventing digital assets innovation from reaching its full potential. The SEC and the CFTC are currently in a food fight for control of these asset classes. They've created an impossible situation where the same firms are subject to competing and contradictory enforcement actions by the two different agencies, leaving consumers behind, leaving innovators behind. FIT 21 fixes this by creating a regulatory framework that will provide clear rules of the road and strong guardrails for the Americans engaging with the digital asset ecosystem. At its core, FIT 21 applies time-tested consumer protections to ensure the 20% of Americans who engage in the digital asset ecosystem can do so safely, and so more Americans can engage as well. Today, we have the opportunity to answer the calls of consumers, digital asset innovators, and the Biden administration. We can establish the next high watermark for digital assets here in the United States. I urge my colleagues to support consumer protection, innovation, and American leadership by voting for FIT 21. And I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman is recognized.
Mr. Chair, I yield myself such time as I may consume. I yield to myself such time as I may consume.
The gentlelady is recognized.
I rise in strong opposition to H.R. 4763, which I am calling Not Fit for Purpose Act. This bill would deregulate a substantial portion of the crypto industry, taking them out of the purview of the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, and allowing them to operate either under a lighter touch regulatory regime, under the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or in what I have called a regulatory no man's land, with no primary regulator and virtually no regulations. For crypto, that would remain under the SEC's purview. This bill still provides major exemptions from critical securities laws. And if this wasn't bad enough, this bill is not just about crypto. Language was added to the bill after it was marked up by the committees of jurisdiction that would allow even some traditional securities to also exist in this regulatory no man's land. Specifically, I'm referring to Title II of the bill that defines the term investment contract asset. Assets that fall under this definition are explicitly deemed not to be securities and therefore not under the SEC's purview. But the bill doesn't provide an alternative legal framework for these assets. This represents an extreme MAGA libertarian approach where companies can operate without regulatory scrutiny and consumers and investors are on their own in detecting and avoiding fraudulent schemes. While Republican defenders of this bill have argued that this definition of investment contract asset is limited to digital assets under the bill, this is disputed by legal experts and SEC Chair Gary Gensler himself, who confirmed in a recent statement regarding this bill that it would have a broader impact on traditional securities. Interestingly, I don't hear any arguments from the Republicans at the Rules Committee hearing disputing that this would in fact be a regulatory no man's land, even if they insist it's just for crypto. Even for crypto, that would be transferred over to the CFTC. I have serious concerns about the loss of protections for consumers and investors. The CFTC is generally designed to deal with sophisticated institutional investors and traders. It doesn't have the same kind of protections that the SEC has for retail investors and consumers. Under all three avenues provided for crypto under this bill, the CFTC's lighter touch regulatory regime, SEC's weaker regulatory regime for restricted digital assets, or the regulatory no man's land. These are just a few examples of protections that would be stripped away. The right of an investor to sue, gone. Protections against conflicts of interest, gone. The right to critical disclosures that help investors make informed choices, gone. Enforcement by states against fraud and enforcement by the SEC for all of the above protections, including anti-fraud. H.R. 4763 would also upend more than 170 enforcement cases the SEC has brought related to crypto violations. These actions have been brought by both Democratic and Republican administrations to protect investors against crypto bad actors. The SEC is the federal agency on the front lines of enforcing our existing securities laws on crypto firms that have willfully chosen to ignore the law and defrauded consumers out of billions of dollars with these get-rich-quick schemes. Given this industry A free pass to avoid most all regulations cannot be the answer to the serious concerns that members have raised about crypto fraud. I've seen many efforts by Republicans acting at the behest of the industry to pass deregulatory regulation, but this is perhaps the worst, most harmful proposal I have seen in a long time. This bill would deregulate crypto and certain traditional securities to the extent that I and other experts have expressed serious concerns about this bill, causing a potential market crash and recession. I'm also reminded of how, over the warnings of regulators, Congress moved to deregulate of the over-the-counter derivatives. Remember the derivatives market back in 2000? The resultant financial crisis triggered the implosion of financial institutions, a wave of foreclosures, and trillions of dollars in lost wealth. And so I urge my colleagues, don't forget, you should not repeat the history with this bill. I want to highlight the Biden administration.
All right, that's it on that. You get the gist of it. Basically, the whole world's going digital, right? We got China, the BRICS, which is Russia. Let's start off with the B, right? Brazil, R, Russia, I, Iran, C, China, and S is, I believe, Somalia or Sudan. I'm not sure exactly. I could have sworn that was an African country, but anyways, you see, the whole world's going digital, man. First off, let me give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful elect, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. And to you ribs, to you sisters out there, learning in silence and staying in order, I say to you all, Shalom. Right, so here's one thing with this whole digital thing. Right, at the end of the day, when it comes to the wicked and the Lord's sword, right, who he blessed with the dews of heaven, right? Matter of fact, go here, hold on. Job 9:24, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked, right? So this was a power or a authority bestowed on Esau, Edom, right, who is the wicked, was given to him, right? The entire earth, right? So there's got to be a hierarchy, in order of this thing, right? So, this one, the top families, I'm not gonna start mentioning names because I might get flagged, right? They control the entire earth, man, including China and Babylon and all these other things. So the fact that you see, little skirmishes and little disagreements here and there is irrelevant. At the end of the day, this is the Lord's plan, and he's going to use Esau to bestow it, right, in any order that he sees fit. So at the end of the day, Esau is the one controlling this digital currency and also forcing the entire earth to go digital to then what? Bring out the MARK. Right? It says the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. Right? So that's who run this thing, man. And there's nothing we could say or do or change. Right? You can't invest, you can't run, you can't slide, right? You can't get around. Either you comply or you don't, right? And if you don't, then there's consequences. Right? But whatever you do, do not take that MIRK, man. Because that's what it's leading to. Because wrath is coming, man. If you take that M-A-R-K, wrath is coming for you, man. And this is a warning, right? Revelations 14:11, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Right, which is that RFID hip. Right, put those words together and it spells something. Look this stuff up, man. This is what we are. This is the climate. This is what they're setting the tone for. Right? The whole earth has to move in this direction, no matter what type of wars is happening. This is their way of solving, right? Not only the food crisis, they're forcing a food crisis right now. Right? They're saying that this earth is too populated, they can't feed everybody, that we're gonna have to reduce the numbers, and they're gonna come down, man, having great wrath, and put a chokehold on the people, man, to force you to take this, to have you in full subjection. Right? They think that they're gonna get away with this plan. Right? Esau believes that he could do what he wants, right? And that his house shall continue forever, man. But this is Ecclesiastes 8:11, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Right? Nobody believes that the Lord's coming back anytime soon. Christians, keep praying for to make America better again and to continue here forever, right? So they're gonna go along to get along, just to pray along and keep doing wickedly. The Lord's gonna shut that stuff down, man. Right when they think that they made it, and then the agenda is set, and we're finally gonna have some peace. The Lord's gonna snatch that plate right from underneath him. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be set in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Verse 23. And when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. See, the Lord's gonna rain down his anger on him while his plan is in motion. Right? This MRAK, man, is going to affect the least to the very highest, from celebrities to your bums in the roads, man. Right, so keep watch, man, and stay vigilant. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rukakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS, who I learned from. Shalom to the whole full leg, preaching his word in truth and sincerity, and to your ribs, to you sisters out there learning in silence, and staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom.